Hi, I'm Angie. Welcome to RV 360 by National Indoor RV Centers, where we have all the details on the latest coaches. NIRVC is a trusted resource with RV lifestyle specialists who are here to help you find your dream coach. NIRVC also supports you well after the sale with storage, service, and detailing. So basically, we do it all. Hi, I'm Angie with National Indoor RV Centers, and today I'm super excited to share with you the 2026 Newmar Mountain Aire. Now, the Mountain Aire is the beginning of Newmar's luxury line, so I'll get to go over all these features with you, help you with your research, help you pick out your new coach. Now, I love to do this, love to help you with these videos, but guess what I love to do even more? I love to sell these coaches. So make sure once you are ready to start diving into the research of your next coach, you're watching the videos, you're reading all the information, make sure you give us a call at National Indoor RV Centers. We have RV lifestyle specialists, and that's what they are, lifestyle specialists, because this is a lifestyle. There's so much to it. We want to help you find the perfect coach. So make sure you give us a call so that we can help you out on your search. If we don't have exactly what you want on our lot, then we will order it for you. So that's not a problem. Another thing that I hear occasionally is that I was going to buy from you, but you weren't in my area. Well, guess what? We have a fly to buy program. So we will fly you in to take delivery of your coach. We can do everything with you. We'll FaceTime calls. We have design centers, so we can literally help you build your custom coach from any of our locations. If you want to come to us, or if you want to just do it over FaceTime, we can do that. Then when it's delivery time, we'll fly you in to take delivery and help plan your first trip for you. So that's not a problem. I'm going to break my video down into chapters for you. So it's very easy to skip ahead to specific locations in the video if you want to do that. And I would love to hear from you. I want to hear what you loved about this coach. If there's a feature that you'd like me to give more information on, or if I missed something, please let me know, because that's the only way my videos will get better, is if I hear from you. So let's go ahead and start from the very top of this beautiful coach. So you can see our marker lights. That camera right there in the center is the first of 4 cameras that are going to contribute to a 360 bird's eye view when you're in the captain's seat driving down the road. You're going to love it. Then we've got this gorgeous big windshield that wraps around the side. That's the game changer for me. In a Class A diesel pusher, you've got this massive one-piece windshield. And this is the way that you get to view the beautiful countryside. That's a part of the experience for me. So you get in that captain's seat, you look out this beautiful window, and then you just travel down the road. You're bigger than everyone else. You're going to have a great time. We'll do a little test drive here later too, so you'll get to see exactly what I'm talking about. You're also going to notice the way that Newmar mounts their windshield. They do it automotively, so it looks very sleek and nice. And then the other thing that you may not notice is that you don't see even any windshield wipers, because they're tucked down inside here. So again, it just gives the aesthetics of this are beautiful. Now on the windshield itself, you're going to see this round sensor here. That is for your rain sensing windshield wipers. So one of those things when you're driving these big coaches down the road, one of the things that you don't need to worry about now is the windshield wipers. So if it starts to rain on you, they're going to automatically come on. Your center there is your Mobileye, which is your lane detection system. It's going to help you make sure you're staying in your lane. Give you alerts if you start to wander. So that's great. Great safety features. You have a lot of safety features built into this coach. So you have electronic stability control, adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation, and all the sensors for those things are right behind this panel here. So that is not for driver's license. I get asked that a lot. We have the Mountain Aire badging here, and then we have the Newmar badging, which is backlit at night, and that looks awesome. I love that. Now look at this beautiful front cap. It is protected by diamond shield. So that's one of the things you want to protect, this beautiful paint job that you have. So one of the things I recommend when you get to the campground, that you want to wash off your front windshield, and you want to wash off this front cap. Even though you've got that protective shield, you don't want to risk any of those pesky bugs trying to eat through it. And then you have the high performance LED headlights, and you do have an auto for those, so they'll automatically go on and off as needed. Our beautiful chrome exterior mirrors, they are heated and internally controlled. You also have the turn signal in the mirrors as well. and you've got your camera in there too. So the top part is internally controlled. This part, you'll need to have your co-captain help you figure out where is the perfect position for that and help adjust that manually. And then you've got your camera here. That's going to be your side camera so that when you turn on your left and right blinkers, you can see down the full length of the side of your coach, which gives you, again, just more security as you're making those turns. You're going to know exactly where you are. This is an optional feature. This is the flag pole holder. I think this is kind of fun. You just have a little metal pole that sticks in there, and then you can put any of your favorite flags, the American flag, my favorite, or your favorite team, whatever, right in there. And then this is a blind spot monitor. Now this is an optional feature for the Mountain Aire. So this is the first of 3 that you're gonna have along the passenger side of the coach. So here at the entrance door, we have our Girard entry awning, and then we've got our nice big window for the co-pilot as they're driving along. You're gonna be able to see all that great. We have the porch light, then we have the lit handlebar, so this lights up at night so you can see it. And then we've got several ways that we can get into our coach. So obviously you can use the key, the keyless fob. You can also set your own unique code. So if you were away for the day, you need to let a technician into your coach, or if the grandkids show up a little bit early, you can give them the code and they have access to your coach. So that's really nice. You also notice that we have diamond shield around the entrance door handle. So a lot of times they'll give you that diamond shield in the high traffic areas. And then it's kind of hard to see in this paint color, but 4118, that is the floor plan that we'll be covering today. So 4118, the first 2 numbers are the length of the coach. This is actually 41 feet 10 inches. And then 18 is the floor plan. You have several floor plans that you can choose from, anywhere from a 38 foot all the way up to the 45 foot floor plans. Check out the beautiful graphics on the Mountain Aire. So this is the Dylan exterior graphic color. You have 3 other choices that you can choose from that come as a standard package, or you can do a custom color where you keep the same graphics, but you can plug in any of the colors that Newmar uses in their color palette, which is huge. Again, that's one of those things that we have at our dealerships. We order all the tins of the exterior colors, so you can actually walk outside, take the tin outside, see what it looks like in the sunlight, so you really know what you're getting when you do that custom order. And then we also have paint swatches, so you can really match up a color. If you've got a particular color on your tow vehicle, like a cherry red that you want to match, we've got those paint swatches so you can match those up perfectly, and then put those colors into your own custom coach color. The Mountain Aire comes standard with 365 tires on front, 315s on the rear. 365 means you have more tread, so you're going to have a nicer ride. Think of it as like a pillow. You have a little bit more cushion as you're going down the road. Now, and you also get the Alcoa Dura-Bright rims, so you just have to, just kind of wash those off, and they're going to stay looking great. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is tire safety. So at National Indoor RV Centers, we're all about tire safety. So much so that our CEO, Brett Davis, and one of our customers that's been in the military armor business his whole career, came with a product called Retroband. It is a run flat device made specifically for RVs, and that's a big deal because we've got a lot of weight in these RVs. So make sure you go and check out my video on Retroband. You'll see us actually blow a front tire on a brand new coach at 70 miles per hour, and you can see how it performs. It's a game changer. I can't tell you how many customers, I've had a couple customers that have had a blowout with Retroband and a couple without, and the results are much different. And those that have had it with Retroband are so grateful that they had it, and they walked away pretty much with hardly any repairs and just their lives. That's what they're grateful for. So make sure you go and check out that video. One of the big changes that Newmar made for 2026 on the Mountain Aire is they went from the Meritor IFS front axle to the Rayco 20,000 pound IFS front axle. So independent front suspension is major. That's one of the things that gives you a great ride in this coach. One of the things that Newmar does, again, it's a safety feature that they do, is they have a metal plate that protects the fuel line. So you're gonna fill your fuel right here. Right behind that front tower, there's a metal plate that's gonna protect that fuel line in the event of a front end blowout. your tire is going to cause a lot of damage if you don't have retroband. And you know, you would hate for that fuel line to be compromised in any way. So Newmar thinks of that ahead of time, and they're watching out for your safety. Here is your 150 gallon diesel fuel tank. This is dual fill, so you can fill it from the passenger side or the driver's side. Then we have our first docking light. Those are super important, especially when you're coming into a campground at night. I know that we don't like to do that, but it seems like it happens every once in a while, and those are kind of a game changer for that. And then our first marker light for the well, kind of our second, because we have that first little marker light in our exterior mirrors, but marker light for the passenger side of the coach. Notice the beautiful dual pane tinted windows all around the coach. And then when you get to the luxury line, a lot of those things that you have to option in on the models below the Mountain Aire come standard. So the Girard awning package and the power window awning package, those are standard. So that's really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate the Girard awnings right now. So I've got the controller here in my hand. If I go to 0, that's going to bring out the first and the second awning together. Or you can channel through, just bring out the first or the second, but go ahead and extend those. So I went ahead and extended them. You've got the extra Nova pitch on these, which is really nice. And this is the perfect day. It's a little cloudy, but the sun's out. Now look at all the shade that I've got due to my awnings, which I just absolutely love. Now your awnings, just a little bit maintenance tips and tricks. Today there's a slight breeze. If I'm out and about, I'm gonna leave my awnings. If I'm out and about around the coach, I'm gonna leave my awnings out and enjoy that extra shade they're giving me. If I go ahead and leave for some errands, I'm gonna make sure I pull those in. Even though it's just a gentle breeze, you just never know what Mother Nature has in store, and I only like to have them out if I'm around the coach or in the coach. You do have a wind sensor or shake sensor on these awnings, so they should retract. But again, it's just better to be safe than sorry. We also have the LED lights, so I can go ahead and turn on the light strip. So that kind of gives you a nice little evening glow. And then of course, once you've got the awnings out, so this is one of those features that comes standard on the Mountain Aire. Again, when you get into that luxury line, you have more standards. And this is your 43-inch Samsung TV with the sound bar. To the side here, we've got two 110 outlets and USB, USB-C charging port. And another thing I just want to note, look how Newmar finishes out the interior of this cabinet. I just think that looks really nice. Again, that high-end look. So it swivels for the optimal viewing position for your guests, and an extra bonus is you've got this little lever here that you can pull out and loosen, and it tilts. And sometimes that tilt is the most important thing to get rid of the glare of the sun. So that's awesome. So now that we've got our TV, our awning, we need to have a little beverage, right? So again, this is a standard item on the Mountain Aire. You've got your exterior freezer, refrigerator, and look how far that it extends. It extends so far because once your slides are out, you can still get into the refrigerator or freezer. And I say both because you get to set the temperature. So if you just want this to be for drinks, if you're tailgating, you can just make it for drinks and have it be a refrigerator. But if you're going across country, you want to take ice cream or frozen fish or meat, whatever, you can do it as a deep freeze as well. Now, one of the things that Newmar does is they add this extra shelf. You know, otherwise you would just have your refrigerator, freezer, and then you'd be setting stuff on top of your refrigerator, freezer, and have to move that every time you open it. So they give you this extra shelf so you can actually have some usable space. You can get some chairs up there. So new for 2026, all the doors are now the Morell doors. So you have this nice edge. It kind of curves over. They're lighter, stronger. Really nice. And then as we get down here in this huge compartment, one of the things I want you to notice is this bracing right here. So this is the Star Foundation. So the Mountain Aire comes on the Spartan chassis, and then once Newmar gets it, they reinforce the chassis with the Star Foundation, so it gives you much better ride and drive. It takes the beating of the road rather than the house. So now I wanted you to see this massive pass-through compartment. So now always with Newmar, pretty much you're going to decide if you're going to do the power pass-through tray, or if it's going to be manual, or if you want to delete it altogether. So I just wanted to show you some of the differences. So with the tray, your pass-through height is just about 15 inches. Now, if you go without a tray, your pass-through height is 19. So you gain 4 inches of storage if you don't want that tray. But the trays are super nice. And let me just show you why. You know, once you've got them loaded up with your tools and all your gear, they can get pretty heavy. But if you go with the power option, this is what you get. It's going to extend this far on the passenger side, just as far on the driver's side. And just to give you an idea, of course, our RV lifestyle specialist can go over this with you too, but that's 37 inches wide. So a huge slide, a huge tray. And then the other bonus is this tray also has the lip that flips down. So that's really nice. Say you've got a heavy toolbox or a heavy, cooler, whatever. You just want to slide off. That makes it super easy with that lip that just flips down. And again, that will be on both sides. Newmar also gives us the extra tiles in case we ever have a cracked tile that we can replace inside the coach. Also new for 2026, we have standard lights, LED lighting underneath your slide room. So that looks really cool at night. So you've got your lights on your awnings. You can turn on your security light that we have right here, midship, your porch light, and then your under the slide lighting. So on the 4118, you get the 1 powered pass-through tray, and then we typically always option in this half pass-through tray. So this way you get to see the manual version and the powered version. The manual is a lot faster, but that power is nice. So inside this compartment, we've got our central vac filter here. This is where all the cameras for our 360 camera inside come together, so we get that view. And then we've got the controls here for our slide rooms, another 110 available outlet, and then 2 110 available outlets, and that is your GFCI outlet. If you look in the very back, you'll see the back side of your Oasis unit, which is your on-demand hot water and your furnace. Midship, we've got the middle camera, or the camera for the passenger side for that 360 view, just right below your security light. Then we've got marker light midship, another docking light, and our blind spot monitor for this area of the coach. And then we've got our eBus lighting control center here, ATC. So now our new control panel on the inside is no longer Silverleaf, that's ATC. So they integrate really well and work together really nicely. So this is great. We have another 110 available outlet and another 110 available outlet that's on the GFCI. And then I wanted to point out this little hose here. So this is actually a drain for the top of your slide room, so that if there's any water sitting up there, it will actually drain out through that, so that when you go ahead and bring your slide rooms in, you're not going to get water on the inside of the coach, which is really nice. Another thing that Newmar does, they build these walls just like you do in your home. So you have the aluminum framing, just like you do in your home. You have a composite one-piece gel-coated wall. Then you've got your batten insulation. Then you have the craft vapor paper barrier, and then the 5/8 inch bead foam, and then your interior wall. So you get about 2.5 inch wall with this. So it's insulated really nicely. You have the one-piece fiberglass roof. Great construction. Then the other thing that I really like that Newmar does is they have internal gutters. So from your AC units, the water is going to run to the corners. And then you've got gutters that run internally down, and so the water will come out underneath the coach rather than unsightly water stains on the side of your beautiful exterior paint. So here at the tag axle, you do have the passive steer tag, which is really nice. It's going to give you that tighter turning radius. You may be wondering how you'll know. If you visibly, you can know. I use my little cheat. It's the belly buttons, innie outie. So if you look at your tag axle, if it matches your front axle, then you've got a passive steer tag axle. You see how you've got the outie on the rear and the outie on the front, passive steer tag axle. Then as we walk down here, you're going to see this little square here. So this is your emergency egress door. This is another standard as you get to the Mountain Air. This is your emergency exit. Hopefully you never need it. The great thing about the way Newmar does this, though, is that you can only access it from inside the coach, But a lot of my customers use this for just loading and unloading the coach. So you can just have your, partner hand you up all the goods, you put everything back in the rear closet, and it's a lot easier. So that's a great feature, safety and convenience. So inside this compartment, we have our DEF tank. That is our diesel exhaust fluid. Diesel exhaust fluid does have a shelf life. It's good for about a year. It doesn't like heat or sunlight. If you end up getting bad DEF, it may crystallize a little bit in the tank, and then you're going to throw some bad engine codes. So it's not a good thing. So if you happen to be, carrying DEF around with you, if you're buying it at AutoZone or Walmart, just check the expiration date. If you're getting it at the pump, you're going to be fine. And then just be aware of how long it's sitting in there if you're not using your coach. Then we also have the emergency suspension fill and exhaust panel for the Spartan chassis here. So if you ever need to add air to your suspension, say to be towed, hopefully that never happens, this is where you do it. And then you should, before every trip, just bleed the moisture off your suspension system. So this little pulley right here, you just reach back and you're just bleeding it off. So that's one of those things that you can have on your checklist. I always recommend that everyone have a checklist for the exterior of the coach and the interior of the coach. If you're new to RVing and need a little help getting your checklist started, just email me at Angie@NIRVC.com and I will send you mine. I do a whole series, RVing 101 series, where I plan a trip, go on a trip, hook up, disconnect everything. So if you're new, that whole series may be of some assistance to you. Here at the rear of the coach, we've got a little vent there. That is for your dryer. We have our last marker light for the passenger side and our last blind spot monitor. That's going to pick up the rear of the coach, probably some of your tow vehicle too, so that's very important. Then in our last compartment, of course, we have the most important, our chassis batteries and our fuses for the back half of the coach. And then we have our disconnects. Now, if we are not lucky enough to have you as a storage customer at one of our 5 locations where we have at least 300 coaches stored indoors, plugged into 50 amp service at all times, if you're storing somewhere where you're not plugged in, you need to make sure you're hitting all those disconnects. So your chassis batteries, your house batteries, your inverters, because you don't want any parasitic draw on your coach so that you come back to a dead coach. Never fun. Next to that, we've got our air dryer and then our fuel filter water separator. Check out the beautiful back cap of the Mountain Aire. And then we're going to start at the very top here. So you've got our spoiler there. We've got our marker lights at the very top. And then as we come down midway, we've got the high brake light and then our third camera that's going to contribute to that 360 bird's eye view. The Mountain Aire sits on the K3 Spartan chassis with the 525 horsepower, 1695 pound-foot of torque, and you have 15,000 pound tow hitch. We've added in the extra camera for the stacker trailer, and then we also have our 7-way plus the safe haul, which is your airline for your brakes for your tow vehicle. Then you'll notice the beautiful mud flap there with the Newmar cutout, and it just looks fantastic, and our engine exhaust. All right, what a lot of you have been waiting for here, the engine compartment. So inside here, we've got our coolant, and you've got the little window here so you can see how full that is. Whenever you're filling your coolant, make sure your engine is cool because you can get burnt otherwise. Then we've got the engine oil fill here and our power steering fluid reservoir, engine oil dipstick. Then we've got the big engine block here. And right in the center, you've got your transmission fluid fill and dipstick inside of here. We've got our engine block heater here. So we just plug that in, then we can turn that on from inside the coach. You have your engine air filter minder. So when that yellow line gets up to the top, it's time to change your air filter. And then we have our Oasis hydronic heating module fluid here. Then you've got your engine air cleaner. So if you look up and you've got that vented area, that's where your ambient air is going to come in. So it's going to come in here to the engine air cleaner and then into your engine. As I come around to the driver's side, we've got our first marker light and our blind spot monitor for the rear of the coach, Newmar badging, and our side radiator. Side radiator is a big deal. One of the biggest reasons is because what you just saw, The full access that you have to your engine compartment when you have the side radiator just makes it much easier for servicing. Then with the side radiator, we get the ambient air that's pulled in through these louvers. The ambient air is cooler, so your radiator fan doesn't have to work as hard. A little radiator maintenance is, you see those coils in there on your radiator. You want to just take a garden hose and gently wash those off. That's another thing you can do once you get to the campground. Keeping that clean makes it work more efficiently. So just a little radiator maintenance there. Then we've got our DEF fill for the driver's side of the coach. This is nice to have that option, especially when you're going to like a truck stop, that you can fill both your DEF and your fuel at the same time. Here's a little spot for our stinky slinky. We like to keep all the dirty business in here if we need to. That's a little extra compartment there. So here we have our docking light for driver's side, marker light, and blind spot monitor. You're gonna see an exhaust here. Make sure that's not gonna burn you, because that's gonna be from your hydronic, Oasis hydronic on-demand hot water and furnace. Then we've got our beautiful wet bay here. I love the way that Newmar does this stainless steel like finish. Everything's written on here very clearly, so you know what everything is. So we'll kind of start from the top here. So we've got a spot here for our paper towels, which is great. And then we move over here. This is our gray tank rinse and our black tank rinse. Then we have the clean liquid master water filter for the coach. We've got our line here. This is going to be for winterizing the coach. We can take care of that for you at National Indoor RV Centers, especially if you're one of our storage customers. You don't even have to worry about that because you're inside the building. You can use your coach year round, which is really nice. Here's our hose for the SantaCon system, and we can just thread that through here. We can also do a gravity dump if we need to and connect our stinky slinky. We can thread that through there too. Our black tank T-bar and our gray tank T-bar. And then we've got the hose for our water supply, and that's just gonna go right through those grommets here. So again, you can shut that door, no critter's gonna get in, and it's powered, which is just a nice feature that comes standard. Above that, we've got our external shower. So love that. You've got hot and cold. If you've been out hiking for the day or whatever, and you don't want to bring all that grime and dirt into your coach, you can rinse off outside. Or for our furry friends, you can take care of them outside. You've got your hot and cold low point drains. Here you've got your tanks. So it's going to tell you your fresh tank, gray tank, black tank levels, which is really nice. Your power, you can start and stop the generator from here. You're also going to see the DC power for your batteries on your chassis in your house. And then your exterior lights, your driver's side security light and your passenger side security light. So when you're out here doing this work, if you need to go ahead and turn on that driver's side security light, you've got light right above you. So that's really nice. Then we have the auto tank fill and auto city supply lever here. Our RV SantaCon system, we just turn that on and off from here. And our black low point drains and our gray low point drains. Right next to our driver's side security light is our midship camera. Again, the last camera contributing to that 360 bird's eye view. And then we go into our shore power cord. So we just pull that out. We're gonna thread that through those grommets too. Then we can shut the door and secure our baggage compartments from critters. Inside here we have our RV automatic transfer switch. One of the things that I recommend is that you get an additional surge guard protector. So you've got one, but I'm always up for extra insurance. So you should either have National Indoor RV Centers. We can install one right into this compartment for you, or you can have the one that you plug in at the end of your cord. Unfortunately, we have to worry about people taking those, but you know, the park electricity is always a little bit iffy, so it's nice to have that extra protection. In here, you also have your RV power monitor, so you can just kind of check the status here. And we've got our cable input. And then one of my favorite things, if you've ever had to wind up one of these power cords, they're pretty heavy. So you typically have a washcloth, just let that clean it off as it goes into the coach and power it right back in. And here is our Oasis Chinook hydronic heating system. This is just one of those things that you'll love. Oasis is very dependable. It's going to give you your on-demand hot water and your furnace once you drop below like 35 degrees. Then we have our pass-through tray. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm not gonna power out all the way. I think you get the concept, but it's gonna come all the way out here. Just makes it really easy to get to the contents on that tray. Here are our 8 AGM house batteries. So you do have little pulls here so that you can pull this tray out for maintenance, which makes it really nice. You also have an option for lithium batteries if you want it. You know, I'm kind of on the fence on the lithium. Most people that drive these big Class A diesels don't do a lot of boondocking. You've got your generator, you've got your diesel fuel tank. You can run a lot off of that for a lot less money. But if lithium's a big deal to you and that's what you want, you can option in the lithium battery package. Marker light and docking light for the front of the coach. And then you've got your 150-gallon diesel fuel tank from the driver's side. Again, dual fill. So you can fill that up as you can your, you know, Toyota if you want, if you do it from both sides. And last up, we have our power management system for the front of the coach. So our fuses are all in here. We've got a little squeegee that they've given us so we can clean off our front windshield. And then we've got our spare fuses, which I love. And here we have the exhaust for the generator. So just be mindful of that if you've been running your generator. That's going to be really hot. And then as we go to extend the generator, watch your legs that you don't get burnt. And then right here is where we go to extend the generator. You do have to have the coach in accessory mode and aired up for that to work. Inside the front cap, we have our wussy horn. Now, I always want to use my air horn, which is right here in front of me. When you're driving something this big, you want people to know that you're coming, if you need to let them know that. Then we have our hot water line to the generator area. This is really great. So when I talk about washing off your front cap and your windshield, you're just gonna hook up your hose right here, turn that on, and you got hot water. This is your fuel oil filter for your Oasis system and your windshield wiper fluid. Then we've got our 12.5 generator for the 41-foot Mountain Air. So you get the 12.5 on the 41 and the 45 footers, and then if you go down to the 38-foot Mountain Air, then you get a 10,000 watt generator standard. This is where you would reset the breaker if you happen to pop that on the generator, so you'd have to pull over, reset that. You can start and stop your generator from here. You've got your generator hours, and then you've got access for serviceability right in here to your dipstick for your oil filter and your oil fill, and then you have your coolant fill in front. Here's your hydraulic pump and reservoir. This is going to be for your slide rooms and your automatic jacks. I love showing you the outside of the coach, but my favorite part is the inside. Let's go check it out. As I step into the Mountain Air, a couple things that I noticed right away. First of all, great handles, grab bars that I can easily grab as I go in or out of the coach, so no worries about you know, slipping in the stairwell here. So I love that. The other thing I noticed is this nice big window in the door. There's no screen here, which is great for viewing for the co-pilot. But if you do want a screen, once you are camping, you want to keep that door open, get some fresh air in. All you have to do is just pull down here. And then it's, you just snap it to secure it in that location. It will stay, but if you were to open and shut the door, it may pop open. And then you've got the little clear one so that you can keep all the bugs out, still enjoy the fresh air when you're in your coach. Now, also when I step in, I see that I've got 2 storage compartments underneath my steps. So those are really nice. They're actually pretty big. So you could put, you know, maybe the dog food in there, the leashes, your shoes, your little, plastic covers for your shoes when you're doing all the dirty work out in the wet bay. Really nice to have that before you even enter the coach. Right when you walk in, you have your battery disconnect for your house battery. So that's great. You can just hit it on and off as you enter or exit the coach. And then you've got your cargo lock and unlock for your baggage compartments. And then below that, you have your fire extinguisher. The fire extinguisher is great to have by the front door. So if you need it outside the coach or inside the coach, you can easily get to it. Now, I definitely don't think that one fire extinguisher is sufficient for this 41-foot coach. So make sure you go and check out my video on Protang. It's a fire suppression system. It's sold exclusively by National Indoor RV Centers. And if you know anything about National Indoor RV Centers, we only sell products that we truly, truly believe in. So Retroband, Protang, Protang, we can do a custom quote for your coach, so you can have it throughout the coach in all the compartments that we feel would be a high fire risk, or you can select certain compartments, like maybe you just want to do the engine compartment. But give us a call at National Indoor RV Centers. We can give you a custom quote today. For sure, this is on my favorites list because it's an all lights off button, and then when you walk into the coach, you can hit the ceiling lights, so you kind of have your running lights when you walk in. Love that button. You know, saves you a lot of time as you're exiting the coach. As I step into the coach, I want to go over all of our storage that we have in here in the cockpit area. So we've got the controls for our power shades there. Then we have the controls for our Girard awnings, our entry door awning, and the two big Girard awnings. Storage compartment here. 43-inch Samsung TV. Now that's an optional feature. I typically recommend it because you don't really get, pick up a lot of storage if you don't do the TV. A lot of our customers will throw the GPS up on that screen, so you've got that big screen as you're going down the road to kind of help you navigate. Kind of gives you an idea of why we typically option that in. And then over here we have more storage. Newmar always wants to make everything look consistent with their cabinetry, so that's why you have only access to that smaller space, yet you have the bigger door. So in this vented compartment, we've got a lot of things to talk about. So first of all, we've optioned in the Starlink system, so that's wonderful. Most of my customers are using Starlink over the satellite dishes. They just like the service better. And then we have 3 110 available outlets. And then we do have the conduit and the 12-volt wiring. It's prepped for satellite in this coach. And we have the Wi-Fi Ranger. As we go down here, this is prepped for solar. Then you have your Victron. So we've gone to the 3000 Victron inverter, and you've got the status here, and you can look at how you look at the power flow through the inverter. Then we have the over-the-air antenna. So you just hit the search button and it will lock onto local stations. You have another control for your Girard awnings. So you've got the remote plus this, so you can just go through the channels. 0 will bring out both at the same time. The lights, you lock the system, take it in, out, and you can stop it. Then over here, we've got the slide out control. So the driver's side slide out, passenger side slide out, your exterior LED lights, your exterior entry step lights, and then your Wi-Fi router. You can turn that on and off from here. Then we have the driver's side window awning and the passenger side window awning. Those are powered, which is wonderful. Driver's side security light, passenger side security light, and then you have the privacy drape for the driver, the front, the door, and then the passenger privacy drape. Welcome to the beautiful interior of the 4118. So this is the Camden interior decor package. We specialed in the London-Aire floor tile, laid in the London-Aire style. The cabinetry is beautiful. I have it's one of my personal favorites because of its name. It's the Morell glazed maple in the suede finish. So I think it's just lovely. Love this whole package. I just think that all the details come together. We've got the big windows, the beautiful accent lighting. I do love those shades, the day shades that Newmar does, because they have a little texture to them. And then the valances are subtle but very nice, and the whole thing is just beautiful. Make sure you notice a beautiful ceiling treatment. You don't see any vents on the ceiling because all the vents are under this area here in the center. So it just makes it look really beautiful. Then you have the vinyl touch soft ceiling. Also the fascia here, I think it's really subtle. It just has the backlighting. That's what I think this is, like a subtle elegance in the Mountain Aire. And you get the 3 AC units in the 4118 and all your 45-foot Mountain Airs, and then in your 38-foot Mountain Airs you get 2 AC units, all 15,000 BTU. So notice the beautiful furniture in the Mountain Air. I love this chair. So it's nice and roomy. This is actually an optional feature. This is the queen sized co-captain's chair. So if you want a little bigger chair, if you've got a little furry friend that might be traveling alongside you, this is a nice feature. Then you've got the armrest. Now right inside the armrest is where you control. If you want to make those go down a little bit, there's just a little lever in there that you hit, and then you can maneuver that really easily. Then the bonus of this is that you have 2 additional, basically, recliners in your living room. So you've got here, and the captain's chairs are both going to recline and have the footrest come up. So you also get a little cubby for storage. And I love that you have a little end table here for drinks to rest things on. And then you've got 2 110 outlets, USB outlet, and a USB-C charging port. This is your thermistor for the front part of the coach. That's going to communicate with the thermostat to keep it a nice, comfortable temperature in your coach. And then we've got the speakers above. So notice the beautiful theater seating. That's what we optioned in. Make sure you give us a call at National Indoor RV Center so one of our RV lifestyle specialists can tell you what your options are here and across from the theater seating. So we went with the theater seating. It is super comfortable and it is powered, of course. So I'm just going to sit back here, relax. You can break it forward and back. You also have the light button here for your cup holder, and you have the charging USB charging port there. And new for 2026, they've given you this solid surface here so that if you've got a wine glass or a coffee cup with a handle that doesn't really fit in there, you've got a nice solid surface to put those on. And then of course we've got storage in here, and I do love that they give you access to all that storage. Look at how deep it is. So my whole hand arm is in there, and then you've got the tray here. I love that for remotes and just things that you don't want to have laying out. And then right behind me, I've got 2 110 outlets, a USB and a USB-C charging port. And then right here, so conveniently, I've got a lot of the controls. You're going to have these panels throughout the coach, and this is the new system. It's not Silverleaf anymore, ATC, so it all integrates together really nicely for a better user experience. So you've got the lights. I'm just going to go through all the functions, and I'll go through the main page on the midship control panel. So you can control your lights, your vent fan, your power shades, your TV lift, climate, your floor heat, your power source. You could check the power there. Your tanks. I did forget to tell you guys that your tanks are 80, 60, and 105. Are fresh is 105, gray is 80, black is 60. Water pump you can turn on, your autofill, and your top off. And then you've got your exterior. So you can control your exterior lights, your security lights on the driver and passenger side, your entry door awning, and you can turn your exterior lights on or off from here. And you can lock your doors and extend your awnings. So now sitting here, I'm ready to watch TV. I can just go ahead and hit the TV lift, hit it up, and you just have to touch the button and let it go. So there you have your nice 50-inch Samsung TV with soundbar. And then we still have the storage above our windows. So great storage. Just give an idea how deep those are. I can almost hit the back of them. So nice storage, and there's no divider in there, so you can really optimize the use of that space. And then you have storage above. Make sure you saw the sound bar there. Now you're going to see this is sort of your AV cabinet. You've got 3 available 110 outlets. You've got your satellite cable, and then you've got your HDMI cables. So the trifold sofa is what comes standard when you option in the theater seating or the recliners. If you just go with the standard, you get a jackknife sofa. Now there's not an option on the order form for a cabinet with like a fireplace, but Newmar is one of the few companies that will do customization. So if that's something that you're looking for, if you want theater seating with a cabinet and some storage and a fireplace, give us a call at National Indoor RV Centers. We'll work with one of our RV lifestyle specialists to submit a special for you to Newmar and see what's possible. They're willing to do a lot of specials. Also notice that on your luxury line, you have a real Italian leather in the Mountain Air. So it just adds to, like, it's soft, creamy, buttery, very comfortable. On both sides of the love seat, you've got two 110 outlets, USB charging port and USB-C charging port. So your guests are going to have no problem charging their devices. Let's go ahead and I'm going to show you how you just pull out the bed when you have guests. So then to release the tri-fold sofa, you're just going to pull that tab there. That releases the sofa. And then you're going to pull it out. The legs come out. And you just flip down. There's your mattress. I usually go ahead and put these at the head just to give them a little cushion. Your bed's ready to go. It's super simple and your guests are gonna have a good night's sleep. So we will option in the combination desk dinette. This is a popular option. It's kind of 50-50 it seems with the booth dinette and then this. This gives you the buffet, which gives you more area to put some of your photos and trinkets and stuff. Makes it feel a little bit more homey, or it does give you more area for serving food. Also gives you an option if you want to do a home office. This gives you a lot more space. Plus you have the access cord so you can plug in your devices behind the cabinets there, and you get a lot more storage. So let me show you what the storage looks like, and then I'll go ahead and extend the table. So you can see all the storage this gives you. So here you've got the drawer, then you've got the pull-out printer tray. You also have two 110 available outlets so you can run a cord, plug it in there and run it up through here. Two shelves here, adjustable shelves. So if you need something, if you have something really tall, you can just take that out. And then you've got the nice drawer here that you can make a filing cabinet if you want. And then another full drawer and another full drawer. So lots of storage in this combo desk dinette option. If you have dinner for four, no problem. Just go ahead and pull out the table and no problem. I also love that your folding chairs are all leather too. They are comfortable and they're lightweight. Newmar is really tricky, and it's one of the things I love about them because you don't walk into the coach and see a bunch of outlets. But right back here behind the valance, we have two 110 available outlets, USB and USB-C. And then storage above our dinette. It's not quite as deep, but I think you can, well, not quite a dinner plate deep. So welcome to the beautiful kitchen of the 4118. Love all this solid surface countertop that we have to work with here. And the kitchen window is standard in the Mountain Air. Also, check out the beautiful backsplash. This is one of my favorites. We have another control panel here that you can do all those functions on that I showed you from the chair. So adjustable shelves, lots of storage there. Pull out tray and adjustable shelf, or you can just remove that if you'd like. We have our microwave, convection, air fryer, oven, and I love it. It looks small, and I'm gonna tell you, I did a little convection microwave cooking class not long ago at one of our AIM rallies. It was quite fun. Everyone knows how to make my chocolate chip cookies now, so it's not going to be very special anymore. But this will hold a 9x13 pan. So it looks kind of small. The box looks a little bit small, but you're going to still be able to, cook all your wonderful foods. Convection oven is awesome. And then you've got the air fryer on top of it. So really, really great this year. Little spice area above here. And then adjustable shelf, more storage. Let's go ahead and check out the storage here below. So full extension drawers. And they are soft close. And then we have the extendable countertop here. I love that. I love to have the extra space for prep and then for serving the food too. It's really nice. Huge drawer here underneath our below the cooktop, and then our dishwasher. Flip down. So our compartment with a nice big pull-out and pull-out garbage can. Another great little spice drawer. Then we've got our induction cooktop, and we have the cutting boards on the back side, so you can use those to cut with. I love that they have dual purpose. And then you can also store them underneath the sink. You've got a spot to store them in. The induction cooktop works with any pan that a magnet will attach to. So what's great about that, they're energy efficient. They heat up really quick. The burner cools down really quick once you remove that pan. And Newmar still lets us remove these. So if we want to cook, you know, salmon, I hate cooking salmon in my house because it makes it smell fishy. So I'd rather do that outside. You can take this outside, plug it in to the coach outside, do your bacon, your fish cooking, all outdoors. Underneath the countertop, we have two 110 outlets, two 110 outlets in the center, and then two 110 outlets over at the very end that are the GFCI switch. Residential faucet, I love this, especially when you have a big sink like this so you can get to all the corners. We've got our sink covers. That's another thing I love. I need these at my house so that I can hide the dirty dishes. I love that, but one bowl stainless steel sink. Then we have our nice big Whirlpool refrigerator freezer. We have water in the door. Open it up. It's nice and big. And then the freezer with the ice maker. Nice big compartments. And then you have your RV refrigerator freezer lock. So just push that over to the side. You want to make sure all your contents are secure in there before you hit the road, because the last thing you want is your doors flying open and all your food coming out. Because you have a full tile floor, no carpet, which is wonderful. Full tile floor, heated floor, fantastic, but you don't want to mess it up with, you know, your ketchup spilling all over the place. And then we have our nice big pantry with locking shelves. So they extend all the way, and then you just push them in and lock them in place. Push and pull to bring them out. Push them into lock. And then I love the slats below here. So you can put your pans in there, your 9x13, your cookie trays. That's really all I need is cookie trays. Then we have our dustpan, so you can just sweep everything over to that and then just suck it all away. And then you've got your central vac. So you've got your hose that you can attach here and get all the way to the front and the rear of your coach. As we come up, we've got our thermistor for the midship of the coach. Again, that's going to communicate with the thermostat, keep the temperature nice and pleasant, what you've set it at. And then we've got our main control panel. So this is the new ATC control panel, no longer silver leaf. So we're going to learn this together. All right, you ready? So here's our home screen. We have our battery levels for our house and our chassis. Then we have our climate. Now, if I were to go and hit this mode button right here, I would sync all the zones together, but it's also going to let you know what the temperature is in each area. Then we can go to our lights, our shade, our ceiling on, and our all lights off. And then our kitchen and living room day shades and our kitchen and living room night shades. Our tank levels are fresh, gray, and black. Our water pump. Anytime you see a line underneath the description of something, that's a button, and you can activate it from that, from this. So I could turn on the water pump just like that. Autofill, our top off. Then we can lock and unlock our cargo doors and our entry and our master lock. So then we go to our climate screen here. So we have it for the living room, kitchen, bathroom, and bedroom. If we go to setup, this is where we can program. We've got the clock, we've got the program, so we can set times, you know, per week when we want the HVAC system to be running. We can customize that there. This gives us the status here, and then it will also show you if it's shedding the load here as well, and your fans. Then we go to our shades. So we have the controls for the day and night shades for the living room, kitchen, bedroom, and bathroom, and half bath. And then this is all the living room day shades, all the living room night shades, all coach day, all night for the coach. Our fan controls for the kitchen, bathroom, and half bath. So we can turn the rain override on or off, the power, high, medium, and low. Controls for our floor heat, So power on, high, medium, and low, and then it will let you know if it's shedding any of those areas if you're overtasking the system. Then we have our power system here. So that's going to tell you what you're bringing in on leg 1 and leg 2. Your inverters, this is where you can turn your inverter on and off from here. It's also going to give you the level DC power for your battery, for your chassis and your house. Then we go to systems. This is the energy management system here. You can turn on your energy management system right here. Then we go to generator. This is where we can start, stop, and the status of the generator. And then this is where we can do the your auto gen start settings. So for your quiet time, the triggers and the duration for your house batteries, the trigger and duration for your chassis batteries. Then you have your climate AGS. This is for your HVAC system. So if you leave a pet in the coach and for some reason the power from the park goes off, it will automatically kick on the generator to make sure your AC stays on and keeps your pet cool. Then we've got our exterior awnings. So we can extend the entry door awning in and out. Our exterior lights, driver side security, passenger side security, and our entry door awning. And then all exterior on, all exterior off. And then your door locks, your entry, your cargo, and your master. Then we go to our light buttons. Obviously, this is going to be all the light functions for the entire coach. So your living room, and you can adjust if you want to dim, soften those lights. I love that feature on all sections of the coach. So your kitchen, bedroom, half bath, bathroom, and then you have the ceiling lights that will go on. That's your running lights, and then you can turn all lights off from here. You can also activate your aquamizer from right here. This is your dim. This will dim the panel and turn it off completely. So if it's causing you to stay awake or whatever, you can turn it off here. And then this is where you can download the app. So you download the Newmar app to your phone. Make sure you enable your Bluetooth on your smartphone. Then you open the Newmar application and sign up. You select switch coach in the connection lost notification, and then you press the button to pair. So now, as long as your coach is connected to Wi-Fi, then you can access your coach from your phone anywhere in the world. So that's a new great feature with this new ATC panel. All right, here's our half bath. I love this handle. Everyone loves it. You don't catch your belt loops as you walk in. So this is your midship bath. Love the backsplash that we have here. Storage with 2 110 outlets. And then we have this beautiful mirror with the backlit light, and it's also medicine cabinet, so tons of space there. So we have our fuse panel, our extra fuses here, our resettable GFCI for our floor heat, breaker box, and we have a nice description of everything over here to the side, so we know exactly what we need for those extra fuses. We have the beautiful valance, window that opens, our porcelain toilet with push button controls, and then we have our drawer, storage, more storage, and then we have our beautiful solid surface countertop, sink and residential faucet, our towel bar here, and we have a control panel for the midship bathroom. Welcome to the beautiful master bedroom of the 4118. We've got our beautiful king size bed. We have our privacy doors. So you just push down and then you can have full privacy, and then you push them back and they lock into place. So again, we have king size bed, beautiful cushioned back headboard, and then our pillows that come with the Camden decor package. Overhead storage, 2 110 outlets. What I love about this is totally undivided space. So you've got a lot of storage in there and even more storage on each side. You have another control panel underneath your bed, so you can do all those same functions from this panel as you can from the others throughout the coach. Plus you've got the reading lights, and you've got the receptacle to run a cord through here in case you want to plug in a CPAP machine and then just have the cord come down. You can do that right through here. Then we have the windows that open, so that's really nice for a cross breeze. Look at the beautiful accent lighting. We have a nightstand on both sides, and inside both nightstands we have the two 110 outlets, USB charging port, and USB-C charging port. And you have a place right underneath the solid surface end table that you can put your cords through. I love that Newmar gives you the extra space so you can easily get your hands back to make the bed. You're not going to rip off all your rings and your fingers. And then, of course, the underbed storage. So we've got our extra folding chairs in there. Lots of nice storage there. Thermistor for the bedroom. And then we go over here. We've got the controls to extend our power awnings for the bedroom window and our slide out for the bedroom slide. Another control panel for the bedroom. Then we have our first wardrobe. So we've got our wardrobe bar. At the very top, you have a 110 outlet. So if, say you want to bring along a steamer, you know, you can just hook that up, steam your clothes right there. We've got the Newmar Bible with all of our manuals. Then we have our 43-inch Samsung TV, nice little credenza there, our emergency exit window, and then our second wardrobe. And then check out all the space that we have in our drawers. Our AV cabinet with our HDMI cables, and we have 4 available 110 outlets, and we've got an adjustable shelf. Another huge drawer, and another huge drawer. So we have just a small step up into the master bathroom, and we also have another privacy door with a full-length mirror on the back side of that door, which is really nice. When we step up, we have a 40 by 32 inch shower, towel bar, I love that. And then stepping into the shower, just so you can see the size of it, we've got the residential faucet, the fixed and the handheld. We added in the shower assist, and then look at the beautiful tile that they have in the shower of the Mountain Air. We've got the body wash conditioner and shampoo dispensers there, and then the seat that we can put up or down. Kind of nice if you want to shave your legs, you can do that easily. And we have the shower miser here. So it's this little bulb right here. This right now, the lever is so that the water would come out. If I turn it over here, I'm going to be recirculating that water. So basically what happens is you're saving the water from your freshwater tank and your gray tank. You're not needlessly running water to let it get warm first. So you just put it into that recycle mode. Once the water is warm, this will light up, and then you turn it over here so that the water comes down. And you have a little kick plate here for soaps, or set your foot up there while you're shaving your legs. Just kind of all the nice things that you need. And you've got a little lock on your shower door. Again, that's another item that needs to be on your RV checklist. So here is a great storage area, all with adjustable shelves. It's really nice. And I do love the cabinets, nice and slick cabinets that you get in the Mountain Air. Huge wardrobe here and safe in the back. Nice big vanity area here, beautiful sink, residential faucet, towel bar, control panel. And then we've got all this space behind our beautiful lit mirror, 2 110 outlets. And then another 2 110 outlets and thermistor for the rear bath. Look at those full extension drawers. Nice and deep. This one's a little bit more shallow. And then all that space. Then we have the Splendid washer and dryer. Toilet paper holder, push button controls for our porcelain Dometic toilet, and then more storage. I'm so impressed with how much storage. You literally have linen cabinet. I mean, you could put clothes in here, adjustable shelves, lots of space there, more space here. And then of course the emergency egress door. Now I can take this whole valance off if I need more space. So you have the unlock and lock, which is nice because I always did it wrong no matter what. Then you just open the door here, pull off the panel here. Now you have your telescoping ladder. You just undo that, flip the ladder down, and voila, you're out. I always like to show the floor plans with the slides in. So this again is the 4118. You can sleep on your master bed if you needed to without taking the slides out. You can get into your pantry. Your refrigerator. And your freezer. Your half bath, no problem with that pivot door. You can easily get in there. You can be at the kitchen, at the dinette, in the theater seating, or on the love seat, and you have plenty of room to walk through. So now we're to the cockpit. I'm going to go over everything. First of all, let's start with our chairs. Remember, we have Italian leather, and then we've got our powered forward and backwards, up and down in the front, up and down in the back. And our footrest for when we're turned around into the living room position, our lumbar support, our backrest up, forward and back, and then we've got our heated seats, and we have a high and a low. On the left side, I've got a button that will raise and lower my headrest. So for our taller friends, you've got support. And then we have a lever that you just lift up, which allows you to turn the chair into the living room. So here we have our HWH computerized leveling system. So this is really easy. You just get to your park, and then you're going to go and make sure your park brake is set, and then you'll hit auto level. You're going to have some alarms and some beeping going off as your levelers go down. But once you have 4 lights, solid lights in each corner, that means you're level. If for some reason that you can't level, it's going to give you an excessive slope warning. So you may need to readjust and try again. Now, once you've tried this twice, you might want to just give it a little bit of a break, maybe 20 minutes, just so that you don't burn up that pump. You can also manual level from each of these arrows if you need to do that. Once you're ready to leave the campground, you're going to go to auto store, and then your jacks will raise up, and then you'll go into travel mode. Here's our transmission control: reverse, neutral, drive. We can shift automatically from here if we need to, and then we can go into economy mode. If we push the plus and the minus at the same time, we can get the transmission diagnostics. Then we have our tag dump. I'm going to always keep my tag dump in auto. The only time that I would disable it or go into manual mode is if I were in a slippery or muddy position where I needed more traction. Then we have our engine brake, so we turn it on and off from here, and then we can set it to a high, medium, and low. We have our 2 cup holders here, and they have a little light in them. Then we have our wireless charging pad here, our parking brake, so pull to apply, push to release, the controls for our exterior mirrors, and the defrost for our exterior mirrors. Then we have our auto headlights, or we can just turn our headlights on or off, our fog lights, brighten and dim your dash here, your dome light, which is directly over the driver's seat, and then you've got your auto high beams. So this will allow you to have your auto high beams on, and then you can, when you have oncoming traffic, it will automatically turn off. You can cancel this feature or you can resume. Then this is your CURT spectrum brake. That is an optional feature. You can add that if you're planning on towing a stacker trailer. And then we have our auto traction control override on right here. I usually keep that on. Your control for your window up and down, and your air horn, I want to make sure I always have that on too. Then we have a nice little storage space here. We have a USB-C charging port and a USB charging port. Down here by my feet, we've got the Deutsch plug. That's where our technicians at National Indoor RV Centers can plug into your coach to run diagnostics. This is going to allow me to adjust the steering column to where it's in the most comfortable position for me. So here is your turn signal control, so right and left. And then right here in the center, you have your cruise control. So you can turn your cruise control on, and then you just push it in, to set it. And as you do that, that is also the way that you can quickly air up your coach. So just turn it on and then push your set. This is also going to allow you to flash your headlights. And then right here at this column, you've got your hazards. So you just pull those on. Now you've got your hazards on. You don't push it back in. All you need to do is turn the turn signal up or down, and it will turn off your hazards. All right, so here on the steering column itself, we can Bluetooth our phone so we can answer and hang up a phone call. We do have the auto rain sensing windshield wipers, but if you want to do it manually, you can turn them on from here and turn them off from there. And then we've got the windshield wiper fluid, and you've got high and low for your windshield wipers. Our horns in the center. Then we've got we can flash our high beams here and our marker lights here. So say a trucker has flashed his lights to let you know that it's safe to pull back into the lane, then you can flash your marker lights 3 times to thank him. These are the controls for your radio. So you've got your volume control, your source control, your seek and find, and then you've got your mute. Now over here, we've got everything we can control up here at the dash. So I'm just going to go to the home button. Not only do we have the hydraulic leveling, we also have the air leveling. I can do auto level, high ride, low ride, or more. And then it's going to give me what I can manually, pick where I want to level. So auto level, manual, standby, system, or exit. Then we can control the brightness of our screen. Messages will appear here. Go to our settings. So then we can go into our TPMS. This is going to give you pressure and temperature for each of your tires. So then we can go to our tow bowl connection. We want to say yes. Then we're going to go to our TPMS configuration, and then tow configuration, and then tow type. Now we can scroll through and we can pick what we're going to be towing. And then once you find it, you'll hit OK, lock that in, and go back and exit. Then we go into our wiper sensitivity. So you can, put it on whichever one you want or disable it. Our sound, so that's your collision mitigation sound. And you can see what volume you want that at and set that. Units, so what you want your temperature in Celsius or Fahrenheit, pressure, PSI or kPa. Comfort drive, now this is where you can lock in and adjust your steering control. You can also do that with a quick button. I'll show you that in a minute, but you can adjust that. I like it high, it's a little bit tighter filling when it's all the way engaged, and then you just lock in. Service, diagnostics, configuration, so password here, and back. Trip information, so you can log into that for trip A and trip B. Then your general information, your accelerator position, TPMS, these are your quick buttons, and your adaptive cruise control. So you can set it to lock in here, and then you can set it for long, medium, short, or disabled. So then we have the quick button for your comfort drive. You can press that up and bring it up right there, and then you can adjust it right there, and then just hit OK to lock it in. You can also adjust the pedals forward and back. Here's your keyless ignition. You just need to have your keys nearby, but don't leave them right close to it or it'll drain the battery from your key fob. So to go into accessory mode, you just hit it one time. If you want to go into ignition mode, put your foot on the brake and hold. And to turn off the coach, you just hit the button once. Here we have our main big dash screen, which is really nice and bright. So we have our radio controls, media center, XM radio, Bluetooth, HDMI, and aux. Then we have our camera control. So this is going to give you the option to switch cameras. Now again, my favorite is that split view of the rear view and then the 360 camera. But you also have the trailer camera set up because we optioned in that feature. Then we have the navigation. So you can go in and put that information in there. Mobileye, so you can go to your settings and adjust your settings for your headway monitor, warning level, lane departure warning level, and your speed limit warning. And your setup, so that's just to where you can customize your screen and your different settings. Then we go to aux zone. So this is going to allow, we have the secondary monitor. So we can touch disable. So say we've got the grandkids sitting in that seat. You may not want them to be messing with that secondary monitor. So you can basically lock them out, or you can go to touch enable. And then we have house mode, and that's so you can play your dash radio in the house when you're at your campsite. Then you have your volume control here and your power button. Then we have the house battery and chassis battery boost. So this is a super important button. Say you come back and you can't get your coach started. You want to take any power that you have left in your house battery and your chassis batteries, tie those together with the battery boost and try to start your coach. If that doesn't work, tie those together, start your generator, let that run for a while, and then try to start your coach. So that's a really nice button. So here's the front fan for your furnace. You can put it on high or low or off. And then you have your overhead fans for your defrost, high, medium, and low. Your docking lights, super important. Courtesy lights. And then you can start and stop your generator from here. Your entrance door lock. So then you have your day shade visors. So for the driver's side, front visor, front shade, and passenger visor. Below that, we've got our HVAC settings. So our fan control, cool and hot, and then the direction of the airflow. Great little cubby boxes for us there. So here in the co-captain's chair, I have all the controls that I have on the captain's chair. So super nice and comfy. We optioned in the passenger monitor. So now I can go through the different source. So I can do navigation from here, my aux, HDMI, our main screen, so I can control the radio, and then I can dim or brighten my screen. Go to a quick nav button here. Go to a quick nav button here, and then go to the cameras so I can see the different views. Click through those. Behind the extra monitor, we've got the patio lights, so you can illuminate the stairwell and then your light outside the door. My visor here, which is my day shade. Step cover, so once you're in travel mode, you want to go ahead and put that step cover out so that no one falls in the stairwell. And then you have your map light, cup holder, wireless charging pad, miscellaneous storage, and then of course I've got the two 110 outlets, USB and USB-C charging port. All right, so now to my favorite part. I have so many favorite parts, have you noticed that? But I do love the test drive portion. So we're gonna take this Mountain Air out. Remember, we've got the 525 horsepower with a 41-foot long coach. So that's sort of like a little bit of a rocket ship, especially if you go with the 38-foot Mountain Air and the 525. Super fast, but you're gonna love this. So if you've never driven a Class A diesel before, it's a little intimidating, but you don't have to worry. There's just a couple things that you need to pay attention to. First of all, the turning point is the center of your front axle. So it's really kind of the rear butt of the chair. So you think about, you just have to pull the coach up, nose out far enough that your center of your front axle is at the turning point, then you start your turn. That's one of the things that I thought was the hardest for me to get used to. Then you feel like you're too wide, like you're not going to fit into the lane, but you absolutely fit. The further you look down the road and just watch, you can watch the white or yellow line in your external mirrors there, and you can keep yourself right in place. You're also going to have that 360 view when we get started. So lots of tools here to help keep you safe. And I'll talk about more of them as we get driving. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we're on the road. We're in beautiful Tennessee. So every year at the end of May, 1st of June, we have the Music City Motorhome Expo. It's where we introduce the new model year for all the major manufacturers. So you get the first chance to see the new models. It's a VIP shopping experience where you get to test drive any coach that's on display. That's probably the biggest game changer, but the rest of it is we also have the presidents of the manufacturing companies, their engineers, their product designers, all the people that make these beautiful coaches. So it's the perfect place for you to sit back, relax, get all your questions asked and answered. We do have a capped attendance, so it's never going to be crowded like the Tampa or Hershey show. We want this to stand out as a VIP shopping experience. So along with that, we're also going to cover your food, your drinks, your entertainment. This year, we have Sarah Evans and Scotty McCreery. Last year was Diamond Rio, Josh Turner. So it really is an experience like no other. Plus, you can either buy a coach that we have on display, or you can order exactly what you want. And when you're spending this much money, you should be ordering exactly what you want. You know, it's your condo on wheels, so get it exactly the way you want it. If you want more information, more details about the expo, go to musiccitymotorhomeexpo.com. You can find that information also on the National Indoor RV Center website, so NIRVC.com. Just go to events and you'll see it there, along with all of our many other events that we have going on. So now I just got on the freeway. You can see that big semi just went by me. You can see that in the 360 camera. I didn't feel it at all. Didn't feel him at all. You're not going to feel that push when you got on this nice heavy Spartan chassis along with the Newmar build. Those semis aren't going to move you. The other thing that I forgot to tell you about driving a Class A diesel is that you want to hug the left side of the lane that you're in. So everything bad happens to the right. You know, road debris, street signs, tree lamps. So tree lamps can be pricey. And if you happen to get a little scratch or a little boo-boo on your coach, you want to make sure you bring it to National Indoor RV Centers. We have the best paint and body crew, and we actually have paint bays for RVs. So we do paint and body work, we do ceramic coating. It looks amazing. I'm here in Nashville, and a couple that just took delivery of their Supreme Aire yesterday had it ceramic coated. They did a custom color. It's phenomenal. So just a couple of the other services that we offer. So I just kind of hug the left side of the lane that I'm in. Now, once I get up to speed, which I'm there, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my cruise control. Now you heard my little lane departure. I'm getting a haptic alert in my seat. I had the audible alert as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and set my cruise control, 65 miles per hour. And the other thing that I love that you get with Newmar is Comfort Drive. You've probably heard about it if you've been researching. Comfort Drive is a computer-aided drive assist. So as you're going down the road, if you have a camber to the road that's uneven, it's going to adjust for you. If you have a strong wind that's pushing against this big coach, it's going to automatically adjust for you. So it just makes driving easy. If you can see, literally, this is how I typically drive. Just kind of your hands at the bottom of the steering wheel, making sure you keep, straight. You're not going to have any problem. It's also going to let you know your following distance. When a car gets too close to the front of you, it's going to automatically slow you down with the adaptive cruise control. Okay, so now I talked about some of the other features. So you have the electronic stability control. That's going to help you in an event just like I'm doing right now. So I've got a tight turn that I'm on as I'm exiting the freeway, and I'm not feeling that lean that you can typically feel in a big coach like this. So just watching your surroundings, watching my 360 camera. I've got the lane departure mobile eye that's keeping me in my lane, collision mitigation system, all these things that just keep you RVing safely, longer, having great adventures. And that's one of the things about the RV lifestyle. I truly say this, and I truly mean it. I'm not just, not just lip service, but I truly think that the RV lifestyle is the fountain of youth. It keeps you active, busy, having adventures, planning new things to do. You also have to plan your route, and you have to plan the resorts that you're going to stay at. And there's just a lot involved, but it's a new adventure every day because you get to see new things, and it's just a lot of fun. So if you watch my videos, you know that I always do the decibel reader, 65.6. So it's nice and quiet, it's nice and cool. I've got the AC going. I'm enjoying this beautiful view, spring in Tennessee. Couldn't be prettier. And I'm just on the freeway, I'm not even like in the city. I absolutely love it. So it's you can have a conversation with your co-pilot. Just so many things that make this fun and easy to do. Also with Comfort Drive, so I can quickly just hit my little button here and it pulls Comfort Drive up right on my screen in front of me. So I've got it turned all the way up because I do like to keep it high at 5, especially when I'm on the freeway. I want it to be tight. Now, if I'm in a parking lot that's kind of a tight situation and I've got to make some maneuvers, I'm probably going to take it down, and then literally I can turn this with my pinky finger. The other thing that I love about Comfort Drive is it always takes you back to center. So that's key, especially when you're parking your coach. You know, say you kind of had to like maneuver it to get in a parking space and your tires are not straight. Well, with Comfort Drive, they will be straight because it always goes back to center. And that's important, especially as the air releases from the house and it sits, you know, down. You want your tires straight so that you don't screw up your wheel wells. Another thing that I like to make sure that I always have on is my engine brake. So it's right here. You have it on or off, and then you can put it on high, medium, or low. As soon as I take my foot off the accelerator, I'm not braking. My foot's not on the brake, but it will bring me almost to a stop. So that's just another safety feature. I do love that, and I typically have that on. Another thing that I love too is we have a powered window here. The controls are right here. So for tolls or talking to your neighbor or when you're parking and you want to, you know, look out your window and see where you're at, that's a really nice thing to have. So a lot of people buy these beautiful coaches and then they're like, Angie, you know, we don't have people to do this activity with, or we're not sure what resorts to use, or we need more help with tips and tricks about the whole RV and lifestyle. Well, I've got the answer for you. So we have our AIM Club. It is the all-inclusive motorhome club. That means everyone's invited that has a motorhome. When you buy from National Indoor RV Centers, we cover your first year's dues, so you're a member of the club. And then we throw amazing rallies. So this is not like your potluck rally, not that there's anything wrong with that, but these are high-end rallies, sort of like a cruise in your coach. So you come to the rally, all your food and drinks are covered. We do amazing activities that are unique to the area and exclusive for just our group. Sometimes we will charter buses so that we can go, you know, to the location and everyone doesn't have to drive. We have seminars, so you're going to learn a lot. And then most importantly, it's the camaraderie that you that are at the rallies. So, you know, I always tell people, sit with someone new every night because you meet fascinating people. I love to talk to our customers, find out what they did for a living, or what they're still doing for a living, and this is how they vacation. So you just meet great people, you learn great things, and we have fun adventures together. So aimclub.org if you want to learn more about that. I hope you've enjoyed my tour of the 4118-2026 Newmar Mountain Aire today. Now I'm sure you're wondering what this gorgeous coach would cost you. So the current MSRP is $912,201. Now you should never pay MSRP. Make sure your first call is to National Indoor RV Centers. And remember, with our volume and economies of scale, RVs simply cost less with us. We will make the buying process super easy. You know that you can finance these for 20 years. So we will help you with your financing. We take trade-ins, we do consignments. Whatever we can do to make it easy and a pleasant experience, that's what we're here for. We have RV lifestyle specialists that are ready and willing to help you, so make sure you give us a call. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe. Also check out my RV in 101 series, our AIM Club events, and our paint and body. Thanks so much for watching and have a fabulous day.